my name is Melbert Charles Deener, but I was baptized as Ralph John. I was adopted from the orphanage on October 1st, 1933. My mother's name was Theda Case. It was Theda Van Tassel, but she married a Case, and Case was my father. I grew up in East Peoria in a German family. As a child, my father got very irritated because he was one of the few men in this neighborhood of all of these women, and he decided he wanted to move out of the neighborhood, and we moved about 6 blocks away. And every Saturday he would take me for a ride in a car and buy me a toy from the 5 and 10 cent store. And then he bought me a tractor that you drove. Major Bow's Amateur Hour come on the radio, and I looked around to the right of the staircase, and my father had his head back and he was gasping for air, and he was dying. My mother and I then toughed it out after that. We were all that we had, like 2 peas in a pod, and we stuck together. We didn't have much money. I started delivering papers when I was 8 years old. I worked 48 hours a week during high school. I got drafted, went to Korea, and then Hawaii, and came back. And when I got back, I found out that there were no jobs, period, anywhere in the United States. It was the Depression. So everybody told me, you can't get a job. And I said, I'm going to get a job tomorrow. We met each other. And to be quite honestly, we did not hit it off. Then we started seeing each other on occasion. I wanted to go with her because I wanted to meet the girls in her dorm, which was 60-some girls. And I thought, boy, oh boy, I don't want that girl. And she was pinned to some guy. The guy was coming home from Europe. I thought, well, this gig's over. They're going to get back together. They're from the hometowns. They were pinned, etc., etc. And she called me and told me that she had decided that she and I were probably better meant for each other than she was with Chuck, or words to that effect. We got engaged that fall, which was a year and a half after I'd met her. We decided we're going to get married the next June. We decided to move that up to January, so we got married. It was the first opportunity we had to have a child. We had one. From then we ended up with 4 children. I think the thing that I'm most proud with, they each selected what they wanted to do, and they pursued that venture. Some of them had their toe next to a rock and couldn't move anywhere, but worked around it. I mean, it was amazing to see the way they changed and the way they progressed. I think I want to be remembered for the life that we've had with our family more than anything else, and the religious side of that family. I learned the Bible. I'm not as strict on the Bible as Ramona is. She and I took a Bible study for 5 years, 2 hours once a week for 5 years. We've had a deep relationship as a result of her father. And then my relationship through my mother and her family. And then our relationship with studying the Bible. I think all of those things will be with us forever and ever and ever. Well, I've been through a lot, but boy, was I ever given a lot. We have had the most gracious time reminiscing than I think we've ever had in our life. I mean, it's just been glorious. I mean, it's really wonderful, the experience that we've gone through and the joy that we've had for each other. It's just been terrific. The joy that you can have from something that you know is going to end. I mean, I can't even imagine the emotion that I have gained from this experience that I never expected. So we've prayed with each other, we've reminisced, we've laughed, we've had fun, we've gotten along well. There are times when you go through this thing where you know you're hitting your head against a wall, and yet you bounce back and there's joy that comes out of it. Don't ask me to explain that. I can't explain that, but I experienced it.